G'day, Dave from Spring Vale here. You want to know more about the 2013 Chardonnay, and why wouldn't you? It's a delicious wine and cheap. 2013 was a fantastic vintage here for Chardonnay. Lots and lots of different fruit to choose from, all fantastic quality. So I took the opportunity to run a yeast trial, which turned up a few surprises. But I also managed this year for the first time to ferment this wine entirely in oak. In the past, at least some of it's been tank fermented, but I've gradually been trying to reclaim barrels to use for white fermentation. So this year it was all fermented in oak, and actually, as it turns out, you might actually pick up a trace of new oak taste, and that happened because there was a batch just from over here that I thought was going to be good enough to go into our reserve chard. So I fermented it in some new oak, and then at our post-vintage tasting it just didn't have the intensity and the drive to make the grade for the top shelf gear. So I did the switcheroo with the barrels, and so that's where that little bit of oaky taste is coming from. The rest of them are old. So ended up with this wine that is all about texture really and finesse. I intentionally picked early this year when the fruit flavour is right down in the citrusy, grapefruit end. The problem with that is that the acid's pretty out of control down there. So this one was mostly put through malolactic fermentation, using special bugs that don't create that buttery character, and the whole point is just to soften that acid. So you get the best of both worlds. You get a softer acid structure, but you get more in that citrusy vein of flavours rather than going into tropical fruit salad, pineapple-y sort of territory, which is ain't cool. So I'm very happy with this wine. It's probably it was probably the most planning that's ever gone into the making of this wine. It's proving to be one of our more popular wines on the mainland, and I just had to make a concerted effort to get that acid balance right, and I think I have. I hope I have. If you don't think I have, you can tell me otherwise. In terms of how it was made, let me have a think. Nearly all hand picked. Yep, there's only a couple of batches that were machine picked, because most of the Chardonnay fruit comes from our older estate vines at Spring Vale, which we can't use a machine on. Believe me, if I could I would. I love that machine. But so it's all hand picked, and therefore whole bunch pressed, which is the way to go, I reckon. If you've got hand-picked fruit, you're going to go to the trouble. Might as well use whole bunch pressing, and you end up with just really delicate juice that you can use basically straight away without much fear for getting any coarse, bitter characters in there. It was so this would have had the majority of it no enzyme, full solids, no sulphur. It was inoculated because I want to capture that real primary fruit profile, and the benefit of a natural ferment in terms of mouthfeel and everything. I think we've achieved that with barrel fermentation and malo. Anyway, I'm always open for constructive criticism, so send me an email or catch me on Twitter. Destructive criticism, you can keep to yourself. Thanks. Bye.